What's up? What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? What's up? Can y'all hear me? If y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up. What's up? Y'all can hear me? All right. What's up? Well, y'all know how I do my lives. I don't have a spill or anything like that. I just get on here every so often to try to answer some questions for you guys because I know like my inbox get flooded, my emails get flooded. I try to respond back to everybody, but I get a ton of messages, a ton of DMs, a ton of emails. So if it slipped by you, this is a good time to ask some questions right here on my live. All right. So as you know, we really in peak season right now. For you guys that missed peak season, we're coming into Amazon peak season, which is started at Black Friday, and it goes up to like I would say like the first week of January with peak season. A lot of people already got contracts and stuff like that. So with that being said, if you miss peak season, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna miss a good time that you can make a lot of money with Amazon Relay, but it's no problem. You know what I'm saying? Amazon got ups and downs. So if you miss peak season, don't worry about it. I know a lot of people waiting to the new year to start their business. There's nothing wrong with that as well. New year, new business. So let's get up and running. So y'all can go ahead and start dropping some questions. All right. So I'm gonna go through a couple questions that I do have that people DM me recently until you guys started asking questions. One person asked me, is it a good time to start a trucking business at the beginning of the year? And my answer is yes. I don't think it's a good or a bad time that you can start a trucking business. When I started my business, actually January 21st of next year will be 5 years that I've been in trucking. So I started in the slow peak season, which is January. Why do I say January is slow? January is slow because we just came out of peak season. Peak season, you know, everybody already spent their money. They already did all their shopping. With that being said, January is the slowest time to kind of get into trucking because nobody's doing a lot of shopping. So the rates go back down to normal. Now, what happens in February around Valentine's Day is we get a little bump in the rates. And then after that, like in March, when taxes hit, then that's when, you know, it'll rates will pick back up. But January is kind of slow compared to peak season. Why do I say that? Because let's say a regular load in peak season is paying $700, $800, $900, $1,000. Well, guess what? During January, February, those loads go back down to $500, $550. Can you survive? Will you be able to survive during January, February? Absolutely. You sure will. It's just the fact that the lows is not paying as much as peak season, but you definitely can survive. Okay, so don't think like that's a reason why you shouldn't get into trucking. Is because peak season is over. You know, we got peak season, and you know, in June or July, we also have Amazon Prime Day. Just think about Amazon as like a mall. Anytime there's trying to get you to come into the mall to go shopping, that's when Amazon is actually booming. Now, is it decent that you can survive when it's not in peak season or the booming season? Absolutely. Once again, January 21st, I would have been doing Amazon Relay for 5 years, and I've seen the ups, downs, everything you can pretty much imagine when it comes to that. Someone says, how do I start a cargo van business? Well, the same thing with a cargo van business, you still will need your LLC, you will still need your authority, which comprises of your MC, DOT, UCR, BOC3, and then you would just use basically a cargo van. Now, where you're going to get freight from with a cargo van, I'm not 100% familiar with that, so I can't really assist you with that, because I do know with cargo vans is a little bit harder to get work. You know, the smaller the equipment, the harder it is to go work. You know, semis have a lot of load. Then you got box trucks. Then you got like 16-foot cube box trucks. Then you have cargo vans. So I know you cannot do. I get this question a lot though. Can I do Amazon Relay with a box truck? I mean, a Sprinter van or a cargo van? And the answer is no. The smallest equipment that you can do Amazon Relay with is a 16-foot cube truck. But will you make a lot of money with a 16-foot cube truck? And the answer is I don't think so. The reason being, if you look at the load board in any area, if it's 300 loads for a box truck, then it might be like 10, 15 loads for a 16-foot cube truck. So I personally don't think is enough work for you to be able to sustain your 16-foot box truck just doing Amazon Relay. Now, can you do other stuff with a 16-foot cube truck? Then absolutely, yes, you can. Now, with a cargo van or sprinter van, can you do that with Amazon Relay? And no. The reason why a lot of people get confused is when they see people with the sprinter vans or the cargo vans, they're thinking that's Amazon, and Amazon is all just one. That's not the same. The people in the sprinter vans and cargo vans, that's Amazon DSP. That's completely different. That's when you order something off Amazon, somebody come to your house in a badge, a vest, blue vest. They pull up in a sprinter van with a little handheld scanner and they bring you your packages or deliver it to a building, whatever. That's Amazon DSP. That's cargo vans and sprinter vans, but you can't just have one or two and do Amazon DSP. You have to sign up with them, I believe. Don't quote me, but the last time I checked, I think it was like you had to have $40,000. You had to apply to it. You had to get approved for it. Then it will give you a certain area or territory that you can run, and then you would have to have like a fleet of cargo vans. So you can't just do it like one or two. I hope that makes sense. Amazon Relay is completely different. Amazon Relay is we use box trucks. We pick up at a neighboring city or a fulfillment center. We take that freight out to a rural area, drop it off at a post office. Let's just say in a small town, you order something and they don't have an Amazon fulfillment center near you. What we do is, let's say, for example, we would pick it up in Atlanta. We would drop it off, let's say 200 miles away at a small town, right? And then we would take it to the post office. So we would drop that freight at the post office. And when you come home tomorrow, you'll have that package. Well, guess what? Amazon Relay didn't deliver it. Actually, the post office person, man or woman, delivered that freight to you. So that's what Amazon Relay is. We fill in the little gaps where there is not a fulfillment center for Amazon DSP. That's all Amazon Relay is. Okay. So let's see. Let me say, someone said, do you need an MC and DOT number? Yes. In order to do Amazon Relay, you do need an MC and DOT number. So you need your LLC, you need your Amazon, your authority. What's your authority? Your authority comprises of your MC, DOT, BOC3, UCR. It takes 21 business days for your authority to mature. So that's basically 30 days. Of course, you need commercial insurance, and then you need to either purchase a truck or actually buy a truck. Purchase a truck or start off with a rental truck. It's up to you. All right. Let's see. Someone said, how can you get an Amazon badge? Well, you can get a badge by just actually filling out the background check with Amazon Relay and having it sent to the actual fulfillment center. So it's pretty easy to get a badge. But you know now that Amazon started in August, they started a background check. So that's how you would do it. You would just do the driver roster and then they'll get you your badge. Someone said, what's the number I'm looking for to pay per week on a rental, including mileage? So when I say anything under $550 a week base rate, plus I would say 15, 16, 17 cents a mile is pretty average. Anything over that is completely too high. If you rent a truck and that truck is $700 base pay, $800 base pay, $900 base pay, plus miles, you're probably not going to be profitable in logistics unless you have a lot of work. So anything right now over $550 is pretty much too high to actually be able to make money. So can you still get these deals? Absolutely. You still can get these deals. Let me see if I can show y'all something real quick. I'm not gonna try to. I don't want to show y'all this person's personal information, but I'll show you this. Look at this. So if you can see that, YouTube, can you see that? All right, that's somebody renting a truck for $475 a week, weekly rate, and they're paying let me see, how much you're paying per month, 23 cents a mile. That's not a bad quote. So that's $475 a week, 23 cents a mile. That's actually a really good quote. Now, 525 is still good, but 475 is really good, especially right now during peak season to be able to rent a truck. So like I stated, can you still get these rates, these deals? Absolutely. But you're going to have to set up the correct account. All right. Someone said, I have a 17-foot box truck. What kind of insurance should I get for it to pick up business with Amazon Relay? The same exact stuff. So if you're trying to do Amazon Relay, you need 100,000, 1 million, 2 million, 1 million, and cargo. So you would need the same exact insurance coverage as you would need for a box truck. So the box truck, semis, all of that's still the same, right? Someone said, I want to take your masterclass. I already purchased your, I don't understand what you're saying other than probably purchase your ebook. Well, yes. So basically, if you already purchased my ebook or not, right now I have a flash sale for my December 13th masterclass that's coming up. Normally, you know, my masterclasses, the group one is $9.99, which is basically $1,000. Then I have a VIP masterclass that's $1,250. That's Monday through Thursday. But right now I have 5 more slots open for the December 13th class. If you're a new person, you never purchased anything, it's just $750 to get into this class. You can go book the slot, pay half now, pay the other half. After those 5 slots are gone, the class will be sold out. So I only got 5 slots. I only do this one time a year. It's usually in December. I did it last year for the first time this year. So after that, the class price will go back up in January to the normal $1,000 for the regular class. What comes with my master class? My master class comes with everything that you need to get up and running and be successful. How to set up your LLC if you need help, how to set up your authority, ELDs, like pretty much everything you need to know. How to pay your driver, how to find your driver, how to hire your driver, how to manage your driver, driver performance management contracts, how to book loads, how to use Poster Truck, pretty much everything that you need to be successful when it comes to Amazon Relay. We cover this in the masterclass. The group masterclass is about 6-7 hours long. The VIP masterclass, which is Monday through Thursday, is $1,250. Those classes are smaller. It takes about 3 hours to go through that. So you can pick and choose. If you don't want to wait till December 13th, you can jump into VIP masterclass. But they both come with the same amount of information, and they both come with allowing you to attach to one of my business partners' authorities for the first 180 days. After the 180 days, then you just apply to Amazon Relay, and then now you got your own account. All right. Let's see. All right, let's see. Hey, friend, hope you've been doing well. Hey, how you doing? Someone said these rental rates. Yeah, you got to know how to set up the correct account to get that rental rate down. I just showed you guys where somebody just got a rental rate for $475.23 a mile. All right. Explains the hammer. Someone said, I would like to take your masterclass. I've already purchased your ebook in October. Okay, yeah. So all you got to do is just, like I stated, if you already purchased my ebook, it's still $750. So just go grab the slot. Like I stated, I got 5 slots open up for the December 13th masterclass that's coming up. All right. What's up, Matthew? How you doing, bro? Blessings to you too. Someone said, what do you need to be in compliance with the DOT so you don't get shut down? Good question. You need to be running ELDs. You need to have driver qualification files, and you got to make sure you have, you know, that booklet in your truck. You're basically with all your stuff, your MC, DOT number, and all of that good stuff in your truck. But you guys that don't know, compliance is super serious. If you do not have, a lot of people just get into trucking because they YouTube University, everything. They get up and running, and the next thing you know, they shut down because if you do not have driver qualification file, this is something a lot of people don't talk about in the trucking industry. You have to have it. You think I'm lying? Go to the FMCSA. You have to have a driver qualification file on every driver that you have driving for you. It's not like you get to pick and choose. A lot of people hire a driver, throw them in a truck. Next thing you know, when that new entrant audit comes up, your company is getting shut down for 30 days. Like you always had me say this, when I first started off, I got shut down in my first year because we wasn't running ELDs properly. We didn't have driver qualification files. And like a lot of people don't tell you, you know what I'm saying? You can make all the money in the world, but the non-sexy part is the compliance part. What they don't tell you is in that your first year of starting that business, you will have a new entrant audit, which means you have to meet with a DOT officer and you got to give them this paperwork. They're going to want to see your ELD logs. They're going to want to see your driver qualification file. They want to see all of that. And if you do not have it, they will shut you. I put you out of service for 30 days. Now, when I got shut down, it was during the pandemic. I had 7 drivers. I have 5 trucks and I have 5 insurances. So when I added up how much money I spent that month, I literally spent out $14,000 that month without making a dime. It was a very costly mistake. So now I take compliance super seriously. So with that being said, you definitely need to have driver qualification files. Now, another question a lot of people always ask me is, can you do your own authority? Yes, you can. However, I'm not exaggerating. At least twice or 2 times or 3 times a month, I get a consultation from somebody that's saying, hey, and I don't want to put nobody business in it, but I wish I could pull it up right now that people be like, hey, look, tried to do my own authority, X, Y, and Z. When I applied to Amazon Relay, I got rejected. Now, mind you this, you go pay the cheap route, you go do your own authority, you mess up something. Now you didn't pay insurance for 6 months. Let's just say that insurance is $1,500 a month, right? You paid $1,500 a month for 6 months. You go apply to Amazon Relay, excited, thinking you're gonna get on and you're gonna be tearing it up, and in Amazon you get rejected. You cannot get on with Amazon Relay. Do you know how pissed off I would be if that happened to me? So the one of the number one reasons why people get rejected from Amazon is because they try to do their own authority and they check the wrong box or something is wrong. With that being said, guess what? Now you have to wait a whole nother 180 days to get on with Amazon Relay. So I always tell people, even if you don't come to us, make sure you find you somebody that can show you how to set up your authority the correct way for what Amazon is looking for. All right. If you want to come to us, we charge the same price, $680. If you did your own authority, you're looking at about $400. But if you come to us, we'll stay with you, keep you through the whole process, and it's $680. That way your authority will be set up the correct way. So now when you do apply to Amazon Relay, you do not have to get rejected. All right. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can find this person real quick. Yeah, I can't. All right, I found it, but I can't show it without showing their Instagram. So with that being said, don't take the cheap route. You definitely want to get somebody that can help you with your your authority, right? We can do that. We can help you with your driver qualification files. Pretty much anything that you need to get up and running, we can assist you with that. All right. All right. So someone says, still looking to get insurance. I was waiting for your text name when agent link, but rates was low. Kevin, check this out. I got a new cell phone. Send me your message again on my phone. I thought Tiffany told me that I think he was trying to reach me, but send me a message tonight when we get off this live, and then I'll get you in contact with that person tomorrow. I apologize for that. I have a new work cell phone. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. Some more. Does Tiffany answer somebody? Someone said, if I can't book loads till 11 p.m. every night, will I still be able to book some decent loads that rate? Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, so the Amazon, yes, you will be able to book loads at 11 o'clock at night. And you don't necessarily have to wait till 11 o'clock. You can start booking them around 9, 10, 11 o'clock. All right. Someone said, if your driver have a felony, will that deny us? No, it will not eventually automatically deny you. It depends on what the charge is. Because I have drivers right now that got felonies. So it doesn't just automatically disqualify. But what they're looking for is stuff that they can't trust you inside of the warehouse. They won't specifically say what it is. But from what they're saying is if they can't trust you in the warehouse, you know, if you got like theft and something like that, then yeah, you're probably not going to get in it. But I can tell you if the felony is over 7 years, from what my Amazon Relay middle mile manager is stating, is that they don't look anything past 7 years. So if you got something that's past 7 years, you're good to go. All right. All right. Let's see. Someone said, how do I set up the right rental account? Is it in your ebook somewhere? Yes, Mr. Porter. So how to set up the correct rental account is in my ebook for you guys that's on the fence. I know a lot of you watch my lives every week, still on the fence, been watching me for 2 years. Guess what? Go grab the ebook. If you kind of like, you know, where do I start at? And you just not 100% ready, grab the ebook. It's $99. Like, I'm just being honest with you. If you can't spend $99 to give you every step that you need here, there, LLC, authority, this, and that, like, you're not really serious about getting into trucking, because I can guarantee you're going to spend way more than $100 by just trying to figure out this information. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but grab that ebook. It comes with all my resources, come with ELD, come with gas card, come with how I pay my drivers. It comes with everything. The only thing it doesn't come with is actually attaching to us for the 180 days. That only comes with the MASTERCLASS. But like I said, I've been doing this for, over 2 years now. I've had really successful people to actually get up and running. All right. So that's that. Let's see, man. Someone said, I took the master class 2 years ago. My authority is 2 years age, going strong. Take the class. That's what's up, Matthew. See, y'all look. See, real life somebody that's took the master class that's still up in business after 2 years. And that's dope. Y'all see that? I'm going to read that again. He said, I took the master class 2 years ago. My authority is 2 years old, going strong. Take this class. I really appreciate it, bro, man. I really, really do. Someone said, if the driver, I already answered that one right there. All right. And if you are rejected, what they will do, let's say you do apply for the driver, your background come up back, they will give you 10 days to dispute it, where you can actually, tell them the reason what happens. And sometimes they'll work with you or overturn that decision. All right. Someone said, don't take the cheap route. If you're not familiar with the paperwork, it's worth paying to have them help make sure they make some mistakes. Exactly. Because I'm telling you, man, time is money. You know what I'm saying? I already gathered all the mistakes. I already made all mistakes that you can actually make in 100 lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? So just pay somebody. And like I always tell people, even if you're not paying me, find you somebody. Everything in my life, I've always had a mentor. When I got into real estate, I had a mentor. When I got into trucking, I got a mentor. When I started my tequila company, I have a mentor. I don't do nothing without a mentor. I don't need to be walking blind in the world and trying to figure out stuff. That's the problem with, especially, I'm going to say black people, but that's just the problem with a lot of people. A lot of people have a hard time paying for information. I pay for information. Information is king. You know, they used to say cash is king. You can have all the cash in the world, but if you don't have the information, you're going to blow that cash. Information is priceless. It'll change your life. It'll save you so many headaches. So don't do things without a mentor. And like I always tell you guys, I don't even have to be your mentor. Just find you a mentor. If you want to get into trucking, find you a mentor. This is a business where you definitely need a mentor. I'm just being real with you. And they don't even have to be me. You can go Google, find somebody else, but get you a mentor. Get you somebody that know what they're doing when it comes to trucking or anything, man. It's just it's priceless. You know what I'm saying? Priceless. Someone said, I bought the ebook. Can I apply the difference to the masterclass? Yeah, so the masterclass is still just 750, bro. Junior, if you already bought the ebook, 750 for the next 3 slots. That's it. If you normally was $1,000. So join the masterclass, bro. I guarantee you join this masterclass, you will love it. Someone said, is it a good idea to run under someone else's authority while I'm away from? Yes, that's good. Yes, if you can find somebody to tag on to, that makes a lot of sense. Because like I tell you, a lot of people, I've said it 100 times if you watch any of my videos, what they don't tell you is that I can tell you all day what you need to set up your business. But what they don't tell you is most people, I would say 95% of the people go out of business in their first 90 days. You know why? Y'all think y'all gonna get on here, y'all watch other people that's doing OTR and like, oh man, I'm gonna be making $6, $7, $8, $9,000 a week. Man, listen, that it ain't gonna happen for you in the first 90 days or the first 180 days. It's just not going to happen. So, not saying one or two or three of you might not survive. Yes, it's always gonna be a couple survivors, but you got to be a dog eat dog person to survive the first 90 days. And that means you might not make no profit, you might just be breaking even to survive. So now let's just say you do survive. Now, like I always tell people, yeah, you might $8,000, $7,000 in a box truck, but everybody who ever came to me after the day OTR, like, man, Jabbar, I wish I would have listened to you in the beginning. I tried the OTR, I was making money, but I was never able to spend it, never able to enjoy my friends and family. You can make all the money in the world, but if you're never home to spend that money, does the money really even make sense? What's the whole purpose of having money? Think about it. Do you want to just have money to, let's just say you was on a damn island like Castaway, and somebody said, hey man, I gave you $10 million, but you got to live on this island by yourself, right? They got vending machines, you can buy stuff. Is that fun? Do you want to live on an island, spend money where you don't get to see your family, you can't see your loved one, you can't see your mother, can't see your father, or none of your siblings? Like, that makes no sense. So money isn't about what you can buy with it or whatever. Money is about having the free time to spend it with your friends, family, and change your family lives. So I don't want to make a lot of money, but I'm sleeping in a truck, I'm at a truck stop, I'm working 30 days, my kids are at home, my girl is at home, or whatever, or your family. Like, that to me doesn't really make sense. I'm not saying you can't do it temporarily, but there's nothing in the world like being home every single night. Amazon Relay will allow you to be home every night. You don't ever have to spend a night outside of your house. You don't have to have no dispatcher if you don't want to, because that means now you're paying a dispatcher 10% of what you make every day just to book you a load, right? Amazon Relay, you don't need that. It's super simple. You don't need a computer. You don't need no paperwork. You don't need no carrier packets. All you need is a cell phone. That's it. A cell phone, Amazon Relay, you got your account, you can book all of your loads in, you know what I'm saying, by yourself. You don't need a dispatcher, you don't need a factoring company, and you're home every day. That's priceless, man. You get to make your money and spend it with your loved ones. I don't know what else that you could do in logistics that have you home every day that you can make this kind of money. Then when you get, let's say you start off driving a truck, I always tell people this. Never get stuck in the truck. What do I mean by that? You can start off driving the truck, but your main goal is if you're sitting in that truck, and I'm gonna give you a long one. I'm gonna say a year. If a whole year has passed and you are still physically driving that truck, you must just love driving. Because at some point you should be, and I'm not shading anybody that drives trucks, but after a year, even if you're driving the truck and you still don't have people running under you or under your company, you're doing something wrong. You need to be able to drive that truck. Let's say you just love driving. Guess what? You should be able to get you a second truck, be able to get you a third truck, be able to get you a fourth truck. So the money in trucking is scaling. All right. And being able to make money passively. Like I always tell you guys, I make my money passively every single night. The numbers I tell you guys is not sexy, because when y'all hear, like a guy just asked today, say, hey, you say you only make $200 a night, then you was $300 a night. Think about this. When I'm telling you in a box truck that I'm making $200 a night, that is net profit, not gross. All right. The difference is the two. A lot of people play word games, gross, net. You don't hear a lot of people on the internet talk about net. A lot of people say gross. Well, I made $6,000 on the truck. I made $8,000. I made $10,000. That's gross. How much did you net after all expenses, all of that? That's the only thing that's really important. So what I'm saying to you guys is my methods don't sound sexy, right? I only make $200 a night. Now, if you was driving a box truck and you owned it and you only made $200 a night, it don't sound like a lot of money, right? I get it. Now, that means you work 8 hours that day, you made, let's say $200, right? That means you made $25 an hour. That don't sound like a lot of money. But here's the catch and the kicker. I don't drive the trucks. I don't work every night. So I made $200 a night after all my expenses with a driver in that truck. I have 5 trucks running every single night. That means I make $1,000 net, not gross, every single night. My truck run 30 days. That's $30,000 a month. Forget how much somebody gross. How much do they net while I sleep? Go to sleep, I wake up, I do what I want, I go where I want, I travel where I want, I buy what I want. That is the life that you should be trying to chase. So, like again, now I gross $600 a night, right? So hear me out. See how the play is? I gross $600 a night. So grossing per truck $600 a night, give or take $600 a night. I got 5 trucks running. That means I'm grossing $3,000 a night. That's just like me getting on hands like, hey, let me show you guys how I make gross $300,000 a night. I mean, $3,000 a night. That sounds better than saying 1,000, right? That's wordplay. But at the end of the day, I'm only netting $1,000. So that $3,000 a night that I'm grossing, right? Now you multiply that time 30, that's $90,000 a year. I mean, a month that I'm saying I'm grossing. That sounds good for clickbait, but in theory, I'm only netting 30,000. So don't get all hooked up on that gross and all of that stuff right there. What somebody net is important. All right. So you can gross $10,000 a week and still be in the negative. Your expenses can outweigh your gross. So it doesn't matter what somebody gross, if that makes sense. So I just hope y'all know the difference in the two, that I ain't trying to sell y'all just a numbers game. You know what I'm saying? About grossing. I gross $90,000 a month. Yeah, that sounds sexy. Sounds super sexy. Man, this dude on the internet, man, he making $90,000 a month. Now I ain't making 90,000. Yeah, I'm making 90,000, but I'm only pocketing 30,000. So hope that makes sense to you guys. All right. Someone said, can you still do good with 1 truck a night running 6 days a week? Yeah, if you're driving a truck, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because instead of me making 2, let's say, for example, my truck, let's say I had a truck, right? And I did drive the truck. Instead of me netting $200 a night, you just add $100, $150 in that. So I might be netting $350 a night by me driving the truck, right? So yes, you can still make, you know what I'm saying, some money in there. All right. Come and say, can I get a box truck company while renting a truck? Good question, ABM. Yes. Guess what? Let me tell you why. I'll tell you yes. I've been doing box trucks. January 21st will be 5 years, and I've never owned a truck. So you can start this whole company business with actually a rental truck. Majority, I would say 90% of the people I've helped over the last 2.5 years with just my masterclass, most of them have rental trucks. The price you just saw me show you a second ago with the rental rate, that's a rental rate. That's I can show you real quick. It's an enterprise account. So once again, for you guys that's tuning in late, so I don't make sure I don't show you his information. All right. This is, again, $475 a week and 23 cents a mile. All right. That's a good rate. So, yes, rental. I've been helping people, like I said, for the last almost 5 years get into this trucking company without owning a truck. So, basically, guess what? You can have bad credit, started. You can be fresh out of jail, started. You can have no credit. You don't have to have money to pay for a truck. Because this is what I always tell people too. Majority of the people, if you don't go out of business in the first 95% go out of business trying to run the DAT load board, the rest of you gonna go out of business, I would say, buying a truck. And if you got good credit, you got the down payment, and you got money saved up, or you got a fairly new truck with a good warranty, then yeah, it makes sense to buy a truck. However, if you do not have that money for maintenance, I'm telling you, every month I get somebody that calls me and be like, man, I bought a truck. I wish I would have came across your class later, earlier. And guess what? The first breakdown put them out of business. A box truck is not cheap. A box truck is not a Honda Accord to maintain. I'm talking about $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 repairs. So be careful when you buy a truck. I'm not trying to tell you guys never buy a truck. If you want one, buy one, but just make sure you have the money for repairs. All right. I know somebody personally that just went out of business, um, probably about 3 weeks ago from buying a truck. All right. And then when a truck breaks down, you don't have the money to fix it, and you still owe a note on it. You're gonna be pretty much filing bankruptcy to get rid of that truck. All right. Someone says, I need a dispatcher for my new box truck company with my new authority. I got a dispatcher. What I'll do is, for you guys that's looking for a dispatcher, I'll put her flyer up in my stories on my IG. And you can reach out to her, so that way you guys don't have to I get like a bunch of DMs, but I will put her flyer up in my stories on IG when I get off this class right here. Not a class, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Someone said, I got a fly. You got some services. I'm close to hitting the road. Thanks for your book and the class. I wish you continue success, and thank you. That's what's up. Appreciate that, bro. Someone said, how can I work before 6 months? You can work before 6 months. You can get a dispatcher. You can try to that low board. Or like I always tell you guys, join my masterclass. My masterclass will allow you to bypass the 180-day wait. That means while your authority is aging in the background, you can run under us. When your authority hits 180 days, you apply to Amazon Relay, you up and running. Just like you heard the dude on here, Matthew Giller. He been took the masterclass over 2.5 years ago, and he's still up and running. So, I mean, I have a lot of people. Go read my reviews. Go to Instagram. I know I got some people on YouTube that's probably not on Instagram, but go to my Instagram, and look at my highlights. And I got hundreds of reviews of my class. And I've helped thousands of people getting pretty much getting in there. All right. Someone says, stop being cheap, invest in yourself. That's right, man. You can't be cheap, man. If you cheap, you're going to get, what I'm saying? If you get 10%, this is the thing with business. I always hear a lot of people do this. You put 10% in, but you want 100 out. You can't put 10% into a business and expect to draw out 100. You get what you give. If you give 100, you'll get 100. If you give 10%, you're going to get 10%. So this is a thing I'm going to say this. If you have started any business, let's just take trucking out of it. If you took, let's say, real estate, because people are serial entrepreneurs. They try everything for a little while. This is the thing. Stop trying every little thing that you see that come across in the internet, social media, or I can do this, I can do credit repair, I can do this, I can do that. Stop doing that, right? This is what you should do. Go hard, heavy into one industry. Find something that interests you, right? Get you a mentor and stick with that person, because I always tell people this too. If you failed at anything, and you didn't have a mentor at it, I don't care what it is, stock trading, day trading, flipping. If you did not have a mentor and you failed, you really didn't fail. You failed yourself, because it's not that the industry doesn't work. It's because you didn't have a mentor. So you got to stop being cheap. Invest in a mentor. Get yourself a mentor, and just do your due diligence on that mentor, and make sure you fact check the mentor before you go get it. Because I know on social media, it's hard to trust people, because people will put out anything saying they did this, saying they do that, and they really don't do it, or they don't deliver, or you get a class and it's busy, BS work, fluff work. Well, that's why I come on live. That's why I have reviews. That's why I don't run and hide. That's why I'm everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So when I say everywhere, I don't walk around with security. I don't have to have none of that. I do good business. I don't cheat people. I don't screw over people. And with that being said, like a lot of people say, oh, Jabbar, box truck, this, and that. One thing you can say, and I always say this, man, I can put $10,000 up. Anybody want quick 10 bands? Go find me somebody that can say I scammed them, took advantage of them, or didn't deliver what I said I was going to do, and you get 10 bands. Because I can stand on it that I don't. What I say, I do. I can help you. I can get you this. I can get you up and running. And that's just it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know it's hard to trust people because usually when people take my class, when we ask them, especially in the class, they be like, what made you choose us? And they be like, oh man, I've been watching you for 2 years, 1 year. People will watch you a long time before they do business with you. And I understand because the internet is so, as they say, fugazi. Like you just don't know what's real and what's not real. But like I always tell you, Google me. Google me. You can Google me. You ain't gonna see no bad shit. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that's just that, man. Yep. Someone said I dispatched for 8 years. Love to do it again for someone. Okay, see, look, you got somebody right here on YouTube saying they'll do it. Someone says, look for the info, the likes not matching the people in the chat. Hit that like. That's right. The man said the likes not matching the chat. That's right. See, y'all don't like the like stuff. So y'all, that's another thing. You get on social media, y'all scroll, y'all watch it, y'all gonna like. Y'all, that's another thing. Y'all start liking it. So that way the information can flow. You know, Instagram and YouTube all work by algorithm. Start liking the stuff, sharing the stuff, start sharing it. That's another thing. Like we don't like to share and support people. I just posted that today. People don't like to support you. First, they'll act like, they'll be quiet. They like shame. Support people. There's nothing wrong with supporting somebody else. It ain't gonna dim you. It ain't gonna take away from you. I support my friends and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, support, share it. All right. And also credit. I know you guys always, I get that question too. But I paired up with a guy. We do business funding. Now, I don't personally do it. I just have a person because I got tired. I ain't gonna say tired, but I got a whole bunch of people. Hey, Jabbar, I want to get into this, but I don't have the funds or the money. Well, guess what? If you got a 650 credit score, tap in, go to boxtruckshorty.com, go down to apply for funding. They don't even hit your credit. They'll do a soft pull, tell you within a couple of days if you pre-approved. And then if you agree, guess what? You can get funded. But a lot of you guys, I think he said literally, he got over 20 something people that's pre-approved, and you guys don't even pick up your phone. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? How you want money, looking for money, approved for the money, but you guys don't even pick up the phone. So you got to pick up the phone. I don't know what y'all skipping out on, but you know what I'm saying? Pick up that phone. Pick up that phone. But yeah, you can go and apply for it to get business funding. And the only time they actually pull your credit is actually when there's time to fund your account. Then they will actually pull your credit. All right. Someone says, let's see. All right, let's keep going. Someone says, how does Amazon pay here for their loads, hours or square footage? Amazon just pays by the load. So when you book a load with Amazon, it'll tell you ahead of time how much they're paying and how many stops you have and stuff like that. So they don't pay by the square footage or they don't pay by the hours. It's strictly by the load. When you book it, it'll let you know ahead of time how much the load is going to be, where it's going to go, the stops and stuff like that. Let me see if I can just pull up something real quick. All right. So, for an example, this is Atlanta. For you guys that know, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So they got a load right now on the load board that's paying. I still wouldn't take this because it's way too early. But this load is paying $629.99, $2.36 a mile. Another one's paying $620. So Amazon pays by the load. So if you was to book one of those loads, that's how it will work. So for you on YouTube, if you guys can see it, let's see if I can see it. I don't know why it won't show up. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So with that being said, if you was to book that load for $629 next week, you don't. So guess what? Let me show you how simple it is. If I wanted to book this load, all I would have to do is click on this load, hit book, is mine. Guess what? Next week, Thursday, Amazon is going to automatically pay me for this load. It's nothing to pay, no factoring, no dispatcher, no nothing, no paperwork. Amazon is super simple. And the good thing about it, what I always tell people is that you can have a 9 to 5 and still do this. Literally, it's you spend less than an hour a day trying to run this whole operation. So that's the good thing about it. Okay. You can have a 9 to 5, start your business. For you guys that don't know who just found me or just now, I worked 16 years in corporate America. I had a 9 to 5 for a whole year. I just stacked my money. I had enough money that when I left there, I had 2 or 3 years worth of life savings saved up that anything happens. I have kids. I can just quit my job. I don't got no mother. I ain't got no father. I have nobody help. I've been on my own since I was 18. So with that being said, I had to make sure when I leave this job that I had enough saved up. So that's what I did. I had a 9 to 5. A lot of my clients and customers that I've helped, what I call box heads, they do the same exact thing. They have a 9 to 5. All right. Everybody in my cousin brother, you name it. Everybody got a trucking company that deals with me. All right. Someone said Jabbar class is legit, no fluff and no gatekeeping. Best class I've ever attended. I appreciate that. 6 7 foot. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. So yeah, I don't gatekeep, man. I don't keep no information. And you guys don't even know, man, like how many times I battled people or go back and forth. Sometimes you see me in a comment arguing with a clown because I take real, pride in my business. I guess what I invested in Box Truck Shorty. It sounds silly, but guess what? It's a trademark. That's just not an LLC. So a lot of people, when you watch these, let me get off on a tangent, but a lot of these people, like I think somebody just got in trouble with a defamation character with Megan the Stallion or something like that. You got to be careful when you go online and start talking shit about people because you can't just say stuff that's untrue. Now you can say I don't like Jabbar, XYZ, or don't like something, but you can't go say something is fraud or something's fake or something's X, Y, and Z if it's not. That's why I made sure I protected my brand, Box Truck Shorty, federal trademark. So you talk trash about me, I do have an attorney. And if it's what you saying is derogatory, defamation of character, then guess what? We take it legally. So with that being said, man, you got to invest in your brand. But like I stated, I do good business by people. I try to do the best as I can. I mean, best by people, and I ain't with no BS. So no gatekeeping. I battle so many people got mad at me when I came into this industry for helping you guys. Like no bullshit. It's like, oh man, why you telling everybody you gonna mess up the game? People used to make YouTubes on me and say I destroyed trucking because I gave out too much free information. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, I ain't that powerful enough to destroy trucking. And secondly, why are somebody's mad for me trying to help somebody else by coming on lives, giving free lives, answering you guys' questions? That is crazy. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. Someone said, "Can you book some loads under the new MC while waiting for you?" Yes, you can. So, Rain Ace, yes, you can. You sure can. So you can book loads under your authority while your authority matures. Someone said, "What's the average rate per mile with Amazon Relay?" Good question. There's not an average rate per mile, and let me explain to you why. Like, say for example, this load right here on this load board, right, is 236 miles. I mean, 267 miles. Excuse me. Paying 629, $2.36. The reason why rate per mile doesn't matter so much when it comes to Amazon Relay, and this is free game again, is because think about this. Hear me out. Let's say you book the load with the DAT load board, right? And let's say this load right here again. Let's just look, 267 miles. See it? 267 miles, 600 and let's just say 629.99, $630. $630, right? If you book this load with the DAT load board, that load, majority of the time, is going to be a one-stop load, which means you book it, leave out Atlanta, you drive 267 miles, they pay you $630. Now you either got to figure out a way to get back home, figure out a way to get somewhere else to go find another load, or put some partials together, right? But let's just say it was just a straight drop. You dropped it off, $630. Now, if you have to deadhead back home, let's just go by looking at let's see how much they will pay us in fuel for this load. In this load right here, Amazon, to go 267 miles, all of the loads will have a fuel surcharge in it. So Amazon is going, and they take real prices. So they're going to say costs $85 to get there, right? So if I burn $85 to get there on the DAT load board, I got to burn 85 to get back. So 85, that's what, $170 roughly. All right. And fuel that if I don't have nothing to come back. But this is the good thing about Amazon Relay. When it has multiple stops, right? Hear me out. Let's just say it was a 3-stop. It's 267 miles. I might have drove out to the first stop, but the third stop could only be 50 miles away from Atlanta. So even though I drove 267 miles, Amazon is calculating from you first leave Atlanta, from your origin to your stop, back to your last stop. So if my last stop might be 267 miles, but it could be 50 miles away from Atlanta. So in theory, I only have to deadhead 50 miles. So you can't go by the rate per mile with Amazon Relay. You got to go by how much that load is paying and where that last stop is at. I hope that makes sense. All right. Someone said, "Do I have to have my own insurance while under your authority for the first one?" Yes, because if not, your authority will never age. Uh-huh. Someone said, "Have you ever had a driver crash?" Yeah, I've had drivers that had crashes. Yes, I've had everything. Drivers that have crashes, drivers that destroy the truck. I've had it all. Yes, I have. Somebody's asking somebody else. So remember, December 30th, we got 5 slots left for that class. December 30th. All right. Would you say you are the high? What would be you say are the highest paying areas based on your experience? We are set open this month and want to hire drivers in other locations. Now I'm gonna tell you some of the places that I've seen. I'm just gonna tell. I used to always keep it a secret, but I'm gonna tell you guys now because a lot of people already know about it. For some strange reason, man, Pittsburgh had some of the highest rates I've seen, pretty much nationwide. Um, so Pittsburgh is an area where I would say was is a hot spot. But right now, pretty much, you can book loads pretty much anywhere right now because we're going into peak season, so everything is going to be pretty decent right now. Someone said, if you have the how did that impact your insurance? Is this part of trucking? I'm just gonna be honest with you. You can't get into trucking and not expect to get into an accident or wreck. Trucking is like this. You got to think about this. Imagine, just say UPS. You know how many wrecks UPS have a day? So at the end of the day, even though you have a trucking company, especially if you have a fleet, at the end of the day, you get a wreck, it doesn't really affect your trucking thing like that until you start, excuse me, so you start getting into multiple wrecks because they know it's impossible to have a trucking company to not never have an accident. You just don't have an accident. You're gonna have stuff that's happening. Is that's just the nature of the game. That's why car insurance might be $200, but a truck insurance is 16, 17, $1,800 a month because you're paying for that risk because they know it's a high risk that comes with trucking. But don't let, and this is why I would tell people, a lot of people when they get into business, they always focus on the what could happen. I'm not saying you're doing this, but we'll always focus on the negative. Man, what if I get into an accident? I have people say, I don't want to hire a driver because I don't want to have to worry about getting into an accident. Well, guess what? You missing so much money because you could be scaling, making a lot of money. You mean to tell me you rather make, let's just say, $5,000 a month driving a truck yourself that you drive, or 30,000 like me, right? If that truck get in an accident, guess what? I'll start a new authority. You know what I'm saying? Shut it down, start again, start all over fresh. So at the end of the day, don't let fear stop you from making money. By the time you make so much money, who cares? You can always start a second authority. You can always get another business partner. So you can always, regroup. Don't ever always keep focusing on the negative. Well, what if a driver quit? Like some people come into this, and I forgot who says it. They say starting, hear this out. Starting stops 99% of the people. Starting. You know why? Those people think that a business has to be perfect. Oh, I gotta have a driver. I don't trust hiring this person. You gotta relinquish a little bit of control and just start the business. You can make it perfect later. Ain't no business gonna start. It's called analysis paralysis. When you thinking everything gotta be perfect. Yeah, you want stuff to be up and running, but guess what? Some of this stuff you're gonna have to figure out. You're gonna have to hire a driver. He's gonna have to be a jerk. He's gonna have to be a bad driver. So now you know what a good driver is. You get a good driver, you take care of that good driver. You know how to stay away from the bad driver. You get into an accident, you might have hired a driver that was sleepy, was working a second job, wasn't getting no rest. Little things like that is just gonna come after time, but I can guarantee you, stop thinking about the negative. Stop thinking about what could go wrong and think about what could go right. What could go right is your life could change. It could change your whole family. Like I said, 5 years, January 21st, God willing, I'm still here. I would have been doing Amazon Relay for 5 years. And for 5 years, they've been telling me the same BS. Oh, you can't make no money in trucking. Ain't no money in trucking. Trucking is dead. It was only hot during the pandemic. Well, hey, we out of the pandemic. We've been out of the pandemic. So with that being said, trucking ain't going nowhere. It's just never going nowhere. I don't care who said it, what said it, where. Until they come up with autonomous trucks for everybody to drive, trucking ain't going nowhere. And that's just that. All right. Amazon non-peak season rates are horrible. No, it's not. Not if you know how to book loads. It's not. I can just be honest with you. It's not. If you know how to book loads, non-peak is not bad. The reason why the loads look bad because you're probably still using the regular. And I'll give you guys a hint. I'll just tell you this. Like, let me give you an example. When people look, let's just say somebody completely new to trucking and they listen to YouTube, they listen to other people. This is what they do. They go look at the DAT load board because you got two big load boards. You got Amazon Relay and you got the DAT load board, right? They'll go look at the DAT load board and be like, okay, they got loads paid thousands of dollars, $2,000, $3,000. But remember, you got to have an aged authority, usually 90 to 180 days. Then you're going to be on the road. You're going to have a dispatch. You're going to have all of this stuff, lodging, a lot that goes into that, right? So then you look at that and then you go look at the Amazon Relay load board in the middle of the day. Well, guess what? If you go look at the Amazon Relay load board in the middle of the day, because our brain has been programmed to look at the load board like the DAT load board. Well, guess what? Amazon Relay don't work like that. Amazon Relay don't have loads, good paying loads. I don't care where you at in the middle of the day. They just don't. Amazon throw their loads on the load board at nighttime. You got to know when to fish. So that's the number one reason. And you got to learn how to use your poster truck. If you use the poster truck, that'll change your life. So that's the little secret sauce I'm gonna give you guys. You're looking at the load board wrong. All right. Because if that was true, just think about it. If Amazon rates was horrible year round, I wouldn't be able to be in business 5 years. I would have been out of business. You see what I'm saying? They were saying that 5 years ago. So if you know how to book loads, it'll make sense. All right. And yep. And all my services can be booked at going to boxtruckshorty.com. I even do consultation. So if you guys are kind of nervous, you don't know if you want to start or whatever, I do 30-minute consultation. I charge $149. I charge $199 for an hour. I got a 2-day facility training. I got a 2-day Amazon training. So you don't want to drive. You want to send your driver to Atlanta? Send them to Atlanta. We'll train them for you. We'll make sure they know how to scan, unscan, how to do everything at the Amazon facility, how to load the truck, unload the truck. All of that. Like I have everything that you need. When you come to me for services, you don't have to come to me knowing anything about logistics. All you got to come with is an open mind and be willing to learn. I'm going to teach you everything that you need step by step to get up and running. All right. All right, let's see. Are there good loads that I can get with a 16-foot box truck? Yeah, you can get some good loads with a 16-foot box truck. Let me look real quick for you, bro. But the thing is, with a 16-foot box truck, just to be transparent with you, there's not a lot of freight for a 16-foot box truck. So with that being said, like I'm gonna look for you real quick. Just look. I'm gonna look in Atlanta. So look, this is all 16-foot box trucks right here. 485. For a 214-mile, 475. So yeah, they got loads. They got right now in Atlanta, they got 18 loads on the load board for a 16-foot box truck. So let me show you. 18 loads for a box truck. I mean a 16-foot, right? And they be pretty decent too. But let me show you the difference. So now when I go to a box truck and then I put in 26, let's see the difference right now in Atlanta. See the difference? We got 335 loads for a 26. So that's what I was saying earlier. Yes, they got loads, but not enough where I think it'll be consistent work like a 26-foot box truck. All right. So even if you got a 16-foot, you can do it, but this definitely go rent you a box truck. You don't even have to own it, bro. You can go rent you a box truck and start this business. I started my business for $3,200. Real life. Paid $200 for my LC. I could have paid $100 in Georgia. I paid $680 for my authority. That includes my MC, DOT, UCR, BOC3. I paid $1,375 for my insurance down payment, and I paid $1,000 for my rental deposit. Now, like I always tell people, the only thing that separates me from you and anybody else, there's some constants in here. Let me tell you what the constants is. Whatever your LLC costs in your state, it just is what it is, right? So usually LLC $100, $200 per state. Authority. If you come through us, we can do your authority for you. You don't need to know nothing. You ain't got to go nowhere. You can go again. You can go to Box Truck Shorty. Let me show y'all that because I get a lot of messages too. Like, hey, where do I go? How do I sign up? All you got to do is go to my Instagram, or if you're on YouTube, go to boxtruckshorty.com. All right. Click on boxtruckshorty.com. See it right there. I got the MASTERCLASS first. Then I got the VIP MASTERCLASS. And if you want funding, you click on the third. If you need authority, you click right here, third-party authority. Click there. If you need a driver qualification file, you need an ebook. All of my services can be booked at boxtruckshorty.com. So you need your authority done, that's $680 that we charge, right? We'll stay with you from the beginning. Tiffany will be able to assist you. My business partner, she will be able to stay with you from the beginning to the end, all right? You get up and running. Then after that, you gotta have to get insurance. Now, this is the only part that's completely different from person to person, state to state. I cannot control it. If you live in the Northeast, like New York area, your insurance is probably gonna be a lot higher than somebody live in the South, somebody live in the Midwest. With that being said, that's the only thing. Now, me, for an example, even in Georgia, I had to pay $1,375 down for my insurance, right? But some of my business partners or people that I've known, I mean, I'm gonna say business partners, business associates, when they started their trucking company at the same exact time, instead of the insurance broker wanting $1,300 down, they want it first and last. Because if you got something on your driving record or your license been suspended, because I hear a lot of guys, and I ain't trying to just take shots at guys, we all had kids, but this is the thing. If you have kids and your child support has been lapsing and your license has been suspended or you haven't had insurance on your vehicle, there's other things that can make your insurance premium high without you having an accident, without you having speeding tickets. And if you was somebody that had a car registered and the car registration expired and your insurance expired and they had to put a penalty on you, that will make your insurance high because now they feel like you got a car and you're at high risk. If you have child support, your license been suspended. All of that affects your driver premium. So because I hear a lot of guys say, "Oh, I don't have no tickets on my license," but ask the insurance person, "Hey, did you have continuous insurance? Was your license ever suspended?" Because I know somebody personally who they don't have no tickets, but their license was suspended every 6, 8 months for child support. So with that being said, that does affect your driver premium. You know what I'm saying? So that is that. So that's the only thing. And the next thing is basically the $1,000 deposit for the rental truck. So can you start your business for under $5,000? Yes, based on your insurance, based on your area, based on that. All right. Someone said, "Man, I'm trying to get that paper." Let's get it, Cooper. Poor 6397. Let's get it. Someone said, "You definitely respond every time on everything on time, and I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to the class on the 13th." That's what's up. That's what's up. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Someone say, "What fuel card you start with?" I started off at RTS, and I got to connect in my ebook. If you want to get the fuel card person I want, you want an ELD person, if you need everything I need, go grab my ebook. It's $99. And if you don't want to wait till December 13th, I do have some slots for the VIP masterclass for what's today? Wednesday. I think I have a slot open tomorrow, and I got a couple slots next week open up. That's $12.50. Same exact information. You can hit the ground running. New year, new business, because you got to think, man, you see if y'all gonna see what's going on, like my mama used to tell me, man, you got to be able to read the writing on the wall. Companies are laying off, the government shutting down, Amazon laying off, FedEx laying off. All of these companies are laying off. But guess what? You know what you need to do? Have you a backup plan. Have a backup plan, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what to tell you because we got to survive the next couple years because our man, the economy is crazy right now. So that's all I'm gonna say. Read between the lines. You need to have something where nobody can take it from you. That's a peace of mind that's priceless. Nobody can fire you. Nobody can get rid of me. Because guess what? I mean, even if Amazon shut down today, I still got a trucking company. I can still go figure out something to do with it. I got an aged authority. I just got to adapt. Being in business, you have to adapt sometime, being able to adapt. If the first time a problem comes up and you don't know how to figure that out, to pivot, you're going to be out of business. Because when I first started with Amazon Relay, we didn't have 180 days. We didn't have background checks. We didn't have none of this. But guess what? Every other couple months, Amazon keep constantly changing and updating. So you got to be able to adapt in business if you want to be successful. You got to be able to ride the wave. Someone said, "When is your next class?" I'm glad you asked. It's December 13th, bro. $750. Normally is $1,000. For the next 5 people, after that is sold out, I'm letting you guys in for $750. After that, don't ask me again because it ain't. I only do it once a year in December as giving back to the people for the month of December. All right, $750. You even have to buy nothing. $750. You can reserve that by paying half, $375 now, and just pay the other half before class, and you up and running. And it also comes with the ebook. It comes with leasing on for the 180 days. It comes with everything that you need to get up and running and be successful. All right. Someone said, "How much is the masterclass? And do you show us how to set up the authorities and the whole nine?" We show you everything, bro. Everything in this masterclass. All right. What do you think about the Oklahoma Amazon Relay, little boy? So I knew somebody, I don't know if it was my 3rd or 4th driver. He ended up moving to that area. But I do know this. What I do know about it, Oklahoma City, for you guys that's in Dallas, I know Dallas had loads to go to Oklahoma City, and then he would book a load back from Oklahoma City back to Dallas. So that market, the Midwest is pretty good in trucking. You can't go wrong with the Midwest. All right. Someone said, "I recently took the masterclass. They have been holding my hand every step of the way. 10 of 10 recommended." Joel. Thank you, Joel. I appreciate that, man. I tell you, man, we hold your hand. We ain't this ain't no, you like some people say, and I've heard people say this and I call them no names, but they took somebody else's whatever and then they can't reach them after they paid. Well, guess what? You can still reach us. My team, we ain't going nowhere. So I pride myself on doing good business, man, and that's why I come on here and do lives. Now, let me be transparent with you guys. Everybody that take my class, is everybody going to be successful? No, absolutely not. Nope. Everybody that take anybody class ain't gonna be 100% successful. Now, will I say 90% of the people that take my class are successful? Yeah. Yep. You heard the guy who's in the business 2 years, took the master class 2.5 years. So yes, you can be successful, but what's the difference between the 90% and the 10%? The 10%, those are the type of people that give 10% into a business and expect to get 100 out. I can't help those people. I can't make you successful. I can't give you grind and hustle. But there's nothing different that I'm giving. Like, for example, I got one guy right now. I ain't gonna call his name either. He's disgruntled with me. And the reason he's disgruntled with me, and I ain't even gonna say what, I ain't gonna be too specific, but make a long story short, he did a lot of stuff to his business while in the business of setting up the authority, where now the authority's not matching the LLC, and it's just a nightmare. And he's disgruntled, but once again, there's nothing that I did. I wouldn't change. Like, let me give you an example. You have an LLC, Jabbar Williams LLC. Then you go to apply for the authority. Your authority should match your LLC. In the process of us doing authority, he changes the name of the LLC. Now it's an issue. You see, how is that my problem? How is that an issue? That's not my problem. That's not my issue. I can't control that. Now you got to go through a whole mess to get that fixed, but that has nothing to do with me, if that makes sense. So you're gonna have your peoples like that, and we still try to help them. But once you start talking reckless and acting crazy, it's just I can't really do too much with you or help you after that. So is everybody that take my class gonna be successful? Nope. But like I stated, 90% of you guys will be. All right. So yo, Jabbar, good evening, bro. Authority is set up to open on December 8th. That's what's up. Congrats, congrats, congrats. That's what's up. All right. Let's see. So it's one load a day. So yeah, you could do one load a day. You could do multiple loads a day. So you don't have to do one load a day. And then the good thing about this, I'm gonna tell you this sauce too. Amazon runs majority of the time at nighttime. So usually between 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, you'll be picking up a load. You'll be done 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, guess what? There's nothing that's stopping you. A lot of people that come through my class, they find something for their trucks to do in the daytime. It's easy to find work in the daytime. You can go to, if you're in a city, you can go to any warehouse, area, district, industrial place, and you can find something to do with that box truck. You can move freight, you can move pallets. There's so much that you can do with a box truck in the daytime. So you don't have to do one load, you can do two loads. Or you might want to do a short load at Amazon, a medium-sized load, and then have you a morning driver to do something with you. So you can make money with trucking, man. Someone said just took the VIP masterclass consultation with Tiff tomorrow. That's what's up. That's what's up. Who's that? That's Iran. All right, what's up, Iran? I remember you from the other day. Yep, he took the masterclass. He's solid 100. What's up, bro? How you doing? Yep, he took the master class. Yep. Tell him how you like it. Did you like the master class I ran? I know it's probably a lot of things on it, but tell them about your experience. Did you like it? Was it worth the 1250 that you spent? Because I know 1250 ain't a drop in the bucket, but do you think it was worth it, well spent? You got to think about it too. Would I still be in business all these years later if it wasn't good? You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not brag, but it is good. But what do you think about it, bro? Someone said, how do you find contracts for a new box truck owner? The best way to find a contract is to get a dispatcher when it comes to if you're trying to do something outside of Amazon Relay. All right. All right. Let's keep going. I'm going to answer a couple more questions. I'm over past my hour. Let me get up out of here. So someone said, I have my authority and I've been running for Amazon for 2 years. I just need a refresher on the business side. Tap in with me, man. I got you. Tap in, do a consultation, or, we could chop it up. I can help you, retweak that business to actually get up. Because a lot of people think when they come to me that my course or my class, I don't have a course, by the way, but my class is for people that's brand new. A lot of people, I got my LLC, I got my MC, I got my DOT. Do I still need to take the master class? And the answer is yes, because it's so much more than getting an MC DOT just to do Amazon Relay. When I pair you with somebody or my business partner, they want to make sure when you get on their load board, you ain't like, hey man, how do I book a load? What does this mean? How do I do this? What's the last stop? How do I assign this load to a driver? They want to make sure that when you get on, all you start doing is booking loads, smooth sailing. They don't have time to run down and teach you a master class of, hey man, you got to assign the load. You don't do this. This is how you do this. They want to make sure you up and running. So that's the reason why, if I could just say, hey, give me $1,000, I'll pay you with somebody. I'll make $1 million. But that's not the thing. I won't have no success with my business partner because you're going to destroy their account. So that's why they want you to come and learn how Amazon work before I pay you with somebody. It wouldn't help you just because if you think that Amazon is just like the dad low boy, that's why most people go out of business. They think it's that easy, and it's just not. I'm just being honest with you. It's not. Someone said, if you are renting trucks, are you still getting your own insurance, or did you company like Enterprise? You got to get your own insurance. So you can't, to get your authority active, you have to have your own commercial insurance. All right. Someone said, the biggest regret is going to be not starting. That's right. That's your biggest regret, is not starting. All right. All right. I got a driver coming to you next week. Okay. That's what's up. What's up, Big Honcho? What's up? I'm almost up and running. That's what's up, bro. Someone said 16-foot box rate don't, because a lot of people, yeah, the lows don't look that bad for a 16 box truck, man. I seen some high box truck for 16, just not a lot. All right. Someone said, can you negotiate with the rates with Amazon Relay like you can with the DAT or TQL? No, only with the chat box. Some accounts have an AI chat box where you can negotiate with them, but otherwise you can't. All right. Someone says, is it worth you to rent? Or if they call you too, bro. If they call you over the phone, then you can negotiate with them. Someone said, can you, so is it worth it to rent or and hire a driver? Most definitely. I rent and I hire drivers. So that's what I do right now. Can you be a felon and run Amazon in this business? Yes, you can. You can be a felon. It just depends on what the felony is, though. You can have a felony, but if you have something that'll prevent you from working in the warehouse, like theft or stealing or something like that, then that's different. Someone said, my God, can't wait till my authority is ready. Let's get it. Let's go. All right. I'm trying to fly to age authority, you need 180-day authority. Someone said, do you book loads for your drivers to get back home? Sometimes I do. It depends. So good question, Kim Porter. So if I book a load, let's say if that load is like 200 miles away, then yes, I will find him a load coming back. But if I book him a load, like I said earlier, if that last stop is about 50, 60 miles away from Atlanta, then no, I don't even worry about looking for something coming back because we so close. So I don't even really worry about that. All right. What's up? How you doing? Someone said, is it true you can't work with Amazon to your authority? Yep, your authority has to be 6 months old. But like I said, if you join the masterclass, got 5 slots left, you can get in there. We'll bet you to bypass that 180 days. All right. Someone said, after taking the masterclass, how much would it cost to lease onto your authority? There's no price to lease on after you take the masterclass. My person that you will lease onto, they charge 10% to run on them, but you don't have to pay nothing out of your pocket. Whatever you make that week, they just charge you 10%. All right. One more question. Got a class starting in January? Yes, I will have a class in January. I don't know the exact specific date yet in January. So, yep. So that's it. You guys went over a little longer than expected. I'm gonna let you guys get out of here, but hope to see you guys, man. I know it's peak season. Stop letting people tell you that you can't make money with trucking. Tap in. I got 5 slots left for this class, $750. I don't know what else to tell you. All right. So I take care. Hope to see you guys at the top. All right. All right, YouTube. See you guys. So, bro, yeah, I have a class in January. I don't know the exact date, but I hope to see you guys at the top. All right. Take care.